We can start spelling his name LeBron. He'll be here.
See, it was inevitable. What's happening? Welcome to a fresh edition of Sports Center. John Buccigross, Michael Eaves. I don't know what you did on Sunday, but your Sunday was nothing compared to the Sunday of Laker fans as the man, the king, LeBron James, joins the purple and gold.
From the heartland to the southeast coast, back to the heartland, now to Hollywood. It's a $153.3 million four-year deal, the max. Ramona Shelbourne reports LeBron's agent called Lakers president of basketball ops, Magic Johnson, minutes before he sent the announcement tweet. Then he called Cavs GM Kobe Altman. Then they hit send. And just like that, 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 in LA, the world knew, as they assumed, LeBron will be a Laker. Thank you, Northeast Ohio, for an incredible 4 seasons. This will always be home. James' impact in downtown Cleveland and his hometown of Akron for kids there is nearly immeasurable. He has given as much as he received. And then later on Sunday, Dan Gilbert's statement, much different than the first time LeBron left Cleveland. We will always remember the evening, June 19, 2016. The Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, ended a 52-year drought, delivering the long, elusive championship that many thought they would never see. A championship that unified generations of Clevelanders, both living and past. The entire Cavaliers franchise thanks LeBron for that precious moment and for all the excitement he delivered as he led our team to 4 straight NBA Finals appearances. We look forward to the retirement of the famous number 3 Cavs jersey one day down the line. It was around Christmas time. We're in the cafeteria, and I asked you, so where's LeBron going to go? And you said, probably the Lakers. So we all kind of knew this was going to kind of happen. Oh, you did, not me. Give us the headlines. When we look back 3 to 5 years from now, what will this night, be in your terms, in terms of the headline?
This is a seismic move for LeBron James, for the Lakers, for the NBA to have the athlete of this generation and maybe ever in this sport to go to the franchise in LA. And people in Boston will argue that, but there's something about LA and the West Coast and the Showtime Lakers and Hollywood for LeBron James. This is such a bigger play than just trying to win a championship with the Lakers. This is planting his flag in Hollywood, the entertainment industry, and having Magic Johnson not just running basketball operations in LA, but him as a mentor, as a guide for all the things LeBron James wants to do in business for the rest of his career and then beyond his basketball career. In every way, it makes sense.
Yeah, his global brand is really unlike anything. We know Michael had a big brand, but LeBron's all in on the entertainment aspect you talked about. LA makes perfect sense. But it's just a 2-year plan in terms of really competing, because it doesn't look like, well, Bobby Marks in our next segment, our front office insider, it doesn't look like there's a lot of room to do anything this year in terms of adding Kawhi or DeMarcus Cousins or anybody now.
Yeah, and they brought in some interesting guys here to support him, like some guys who've been part of winning, but Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, there's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope comes in, so returns with LA, and those are 1-year short-term guys.
Right.
They're going to try to figure out now how to get Kawhi Leonard, whether they do that in a trade, which became much harder with that Caldwell-Pope commitment today, or free agency next year when Leonard will be a free agent 2019. He opts out. He wants out of San Antonio. They have talked about some deal points with the Spurs. The Spurs and Lakers have talked. But if Leonard gets traded somewhere else, do the Lakers, the fear is they end up right back where they were with Paul George,
right,
where it went so well for him somewhere else, he stayed. If he gets traded to Boston or Philly, likes it, decides to stay, and they never get access to Kawhi Leonard. But right now, Kawhi Leonard feels like Paul George did last year. I want to be a Laker. I'll get there in free agency. We'll see if there's not a trade, if indeed Kawhi Leonard does that. But a Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, those two, you'll go play any other team's 2 guys with those 2 players.
No doubt about it. You're right. A seismic shift, as Woj mentioned. LeBron is a Laker.
Well, despite LeBron moving into their division, the Warriors remain the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title next season, as they should. But the Lakers are now tied with the Celtics for the second-best odds at 7-2. And not surprisingly, look what happened to the Cavs. They're now at 500 to 1 to win it all. All right, to get a little more perspective on this, we bring in First Take Stephen A. Smith. You know, Stephen, let's go back a couple years when LeBron went to Miami. It shook up the entire league. It surprised some when he went back to Cleveland. This move to LA, a lot of people expected for quite some time. But having said that, what does this move say about the current state of the NBA?
Well, it just said, people can look at it and they could lament the lack of parity because all the best players seem to be in the Western Conference. There's no doubt about that. It's one of those things that will prompt discussion as to whether or not the commissioner needs to revisit seedings in the playoffs instead of having 8 teams in the East, 8 teams in the West. Just do 1 to 16 and get it over with so we can have some semblance of competition. But I really don't care about that right now. I'm from the streets of New York City, the big city, the bright lights and what have you. LA is obviously the second largest market in the country. Chicago being third, and between those 3 cities there are 5 NBA teams, and not a single one of them made the playoffs this past season. That's simply not good as far as I'm concerned. That doesn't mean that the NBA can't thrive without those guys in the postseason. Clearly Golden State being in the mix, Houston being in the mix is incredibly relevant, but the Lakers being relevant again, having missed the playoffs for the last 5 years, it does just make your hair stand up on your skin. It gets you hyped and excited about the possibilities, recognizing Laker Nation, the tradition that the Lakers franchise has, and the fact that you can get a guy the magnitude of LeBron James to the second largest city in the United States, the Hollywood, Tinseltown, Venice Beach, Melrose, LA Live. The list goes on and on. To get a player of this magnitude, knowing that outside of Elgin Baylor, every single mega star that has ever played for the Los Angeles Lakers has captured a championship while wearing the purple and gold. It almost gives you goosebumps. It gets you going.
All right, so it pumps new blood into LA, that's for sure. What does it do for the city of Cleveland as well as that Cavs franchise?
Well, it returns them to the dormant state of affairs that once existed before LeBron James arrived. There's no doubt about that. But in the same breath, it's going to be devoid of the level of vitriol they had when he first departed to take his talents to South Beach back in 2010. This time around, he came back to Cleveland to fulfill a promise that he had made to the franchise, to the city, to the Northern Ohio area that had been devoid of a championship in any sport for over a half century. And 2 years in, he delivered on that promise. 4 straight years, he took them to an NBA Finals. He owes them absolutely nothing. Everybody with sense there knows he owes them absolutely nothing. Plus, he fulfilled his promise. So when you take all of those things into consideration, it's a reason to lament things, but not have the vitriol and venom that you once had.
Yeah, he gave them something they never had before, and I have a feeling he will always be that area's favorite son. Stephen A. Smith, appreciate the time.
Kobe Bryant tweet, welcome to the family, King James. Hashtag Lakers for life. Hashtag strive for greatness. Jimmy Buss, Magic Johnson also tag, and RP, Rob Pelinka, well done. Meanwhile, don't miss this. Bobby Marks breaks down how the addition of LeBron impacts the current Laker roster. He's not sure if